I didn't have children until I was in my early 30s. My husband was a builder, he was from Scotland, so we did a lot of travel. We were keen cycle tourists. We travelled through the Rockies in Canada on our bikes, and Britain, Land's End to John O'Groats. We travelled across the States by Greyhound bus, and then we bought this house 30 years ago, and my husband did it all up gradually. When we came here, it didn't have a top story or a basement, and it looked quite different really, so we gradually did it up over the years and as we could afford it. I was a nurse and midwife before I had children. It just hits you when it happens, and I don't think you can prepare for it at all. I don't think I really had any expectations beyond having a baby, really. My name's Gillian. I live in central Auckland. I've got 2 children with disabilities. Andrew's 24. He's got autism and severe intellectual disability. And Jamie's 21 now, and he was born with multiple congenital abnormalities. First of all, there were the disabilities to deal with, and my husband died when he was 47. He had lung cancer, and so the kids were 4 and 7 then. I think in some ways it's better not to know too much right at the beginning, to have it gradually come upon you. Although I didn't know about support groups then, and there weren't many that I could have used back then. I think complex care groups only been going about 10 years, I could be wrong, so I wished I had known them then. It's kind of trial and error really, and finding out from other people what services they get and how they found out about them. It's a lot of, word of mouth. Andrew actually wasn't diagnosed with autism until he was 10, although he did have slow development, so I had to gradually adapt to the fact that he wasn't doing his milestones when other kids were doing them, and he wasn't going to ever go to school with them or carry on like that. Jamie was very sick when he was a baby, so that was a very busy time because Andrew was 3. Jamie was in hospital for the first 8 weeks of his life. He was in special care unit, went to growth clinic, neurology, cardiology, renal clinic, and probably something else I can't remember. So a lot of those early years were spent very busy, with Jamie's medical condition. Andrew, the oldest one, he's quite a happy, bouncy chap with a good appetite. When he was 13, 14, puberty hit him, and I don't think puberty and autism go well together, so at that stage of his life he became very aggressive and difficult to deal with in terms of personal cares and everything. It was a terrible time actually, and we saw psychiatrists and people. Luckily he's on a good medication now and he's calmed right down. He's left school now. They can stay at school till they're 21, and now he goes to a day program 3 days a week, and he has a one-on-one carer twice a week. So life goes on and he's still at home. Andrew enjoys being outside and going for walks and things, so I think he's quite happy with what he gets up to. Jamie's kind of an opposite to Andrew. He's small, he's quiet, he doesn't speak either, and he doesn't really make any noise unless he's very, very upset. When he dislocated his knee twice, he actually came out with some words because he can speak, but he doesn't choose to. He's a happy boy. He can do a lot more than Andrew in terms of being with people, being out and about. We go for coffees occasionally, and on Sunday mornings we have a family breakfast out at a cafe. He really enjoys doing puzzles, looking at books, watches a bit of TV in the background. He likes going down the garden and having a swing. And we've actually got a turtle next door in the pond down the back, so he goes and says hello to that every day. I get a lot of help from my family, which is really good. They seem to have accepted the boys unconditionally. My mother's 82 now, and she still, after we've had breakfast on Sunday, she'll take Jamie for a drive and do some shopping with him. If people look at us and smile and say hello, I'll respond. But if they're going to, be frightened, I kind of tend to put my blinkers on and just carry on and pretend there's no one else in the world. With the boys, we like to do lots of walking if we can. We sometimes do bushwalks. We go to a lot of the regional parks. We like the botanical gardens in Manurewa. Cornwall Park's another favourite. And I quite like doing walks on my own too, or with a tramping group. I belong to an informal tramping group. It's really good to have a clean break sometimes. My kids go to an out-of-home respite facility once a month, and it's just so refreshing to not have to get up in the morning at any particular time or shower anybody else or even think about anyone else. Have a meal without having to jump up. Maybe watch the news in my lazy boy with my feet up. So yeah, it's really important to remember that you're a person as well and have needs and wishes. My advice would be just find out what you can and maybe go to a complex care group because they've got more information than others. I think maybe people don't realise that this is the first generation of children growing up who haven't been in institutions. We call them the post-institutional kids, so it's seemed to be that everyone's experimenting on what to do with people like this. The biggest challenge is where to go from here, what for their future. Safety is very important and happiness is important too, because I think they're going to miss me when I'm not here, so just to be amongst people who care for them and care about them would be fantastic. I love my children, I enjoy looking after them, and life's good. It could be a whole lot worse, so, it keeps me going.